Hey, this is Sales Rep Johnson. I need to get in touch with the person in charge of finance. Can you go ahead and position me to them?
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are not interested. Got a chance to learn about your company. Someone else called 10 times, but we're not interested.
What do you mean you're not interested? Do you know what we do?
All right, sir, I'm going to hang up now. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Now, many of us may have had situations like that where we were the crappy seller, or perhaps we've had experience where we were the buyer or the prospect and we had a rude sales rep. A sales rep that just didn't get it. A sales rep that saw us as a number. A sales rep that didn't care about our organization. They were just focused on bulldozing. What could a sales rep have done in a situation like that? Today, we're going to talk about that and give you some personal insights from personal experiences that can help you change that mindset from just seeing your prospect as a number to people. This episode is brought to you in part by mailtag.io. It's a Chrome browser extension that allows you to track and schedule your emails. It's super easy and it's helpful for anyone that's in sales. I highly recommend it. You'll receive a real-time alert whenever someone opens an email or clicks on a link. To find more information, go to mailtag.io. This episode is also brought to you in part by prospect.io, a sales automation platform that allows you to send out cold emails in a personalized manner. To find out more information about prospect.io and how it can help you automate your sales process, go to prospect.io/TSE. Again, prospect.io/TSE. Your prospecting will never, ever be the same. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to talk about this idea, this mindset of the numbers game. I am a big believer in utilizing numbers, KPIs, to help us to measure. And we use it in sales. It's a great way for us to measure our success. In business, we use numbers. Numbers are important. However, there is a part where the pendulum goes way too much to one side, and that's not cool. You have some organization that don't look at numbers at all or don't want to focus on numbers at all, or it seems that's what it's like because the sales rep don't know their averages. They don't know their performance. They don't know how many calls it takes to be able to get to the right customer. They don't have an idea of a conversion rate. Then you find organizations that are just so focused on the numbers. You have to hit this many calls. You have to do this. You have to do that. And in order to do anything else, you must have 1,500 calls per week. All right, well, maybe that's not that accurate, but you get the whole point. People sometimes will focus on the numbers so much that that becomes a primary focus. And when that becomes a primary focus, you lose quality. Again, please don't get me wrong. You need to have measurements, and it's great to have your guides to say, well, if I do this, I should see this in return. However, do not lose track of the people in the process. Let me explain. Last week, my wife had this interaction with a sales rep that called into the organization, and the sales rep, it was a typical selling situation. And I'm not telling you that you need to be afraid or mask your role or not to be proud of being a seller. Of course you need to be. I'm proud to be a sales rep. The challenge is this was a traditional seller in a traditional selling situation doing the same old thing that buyers have been getting for years. The sales rep called in, just like in a teaser there. He had no clue about the company. Only thing that he knew was that the name of the company and the phone number popped up on the screen, and that was his auto dialer queue. He was in a call center, so in the background, you can hear everyone else talking. The other problem that he had was that he did not know who he wanted to speak with. Granted, we've had situations where if you don't know, you politely ask. Don't think about the prospects as someone that's there as a doormat, just subservient to you because you're a sales rep. So problem number one, they were not prepared. They're in a call center situation. It was noisy. Problem number two, they didn't have a flow process or some kind of cadence. They just had one speed, and that was gas. They pushed the gas and they dial for dollars every single day. Clearly, this organization has called the company multiple times. Instead of having different information or different variation or having emails, They just stayed on the phone and that's it. Today's buyers are busy. They're doing many different things. You don't want to become annoying or obnoxious. So think about it from the buyer standpoint. Could I have brought value in an email? Could I have used multiple emails to maybe share client testimonials or share some kind of valuable tip or share some kind of irresistible message about our firm and how we could help them? Maybe I could have gone on LinkedIn and followed them and liked some of their stuff, found out who was the right contact and actually share content with that individual. Maybe I could have even asked for that person when I called. Perhaps I could have sent something in the mail. You try a different approach. Try multiple points of entry to let the prospect know you exist, as opposed to just blasting them with 10 million phone calls without any value. I think sometimes in the minds of sales rep, we just think that the buyer is just stupid. Like he or she is just back there and they know nothing. I mean, look past the fact that they created a successful business that you're calling into, or the fact that they have a position in that organization, a VP or management role, or maybe the fact that, they probably went to college too. I think they just imagine that everything just resets. After I called this once, they're not going to know anything about me at all. Well, sometimes they don't. However, if you're calling over and over and over again, and it's an annoying call with the same script and the multiple different sales reps, and you're adding no value, you're easily going to be remembered, and not in a good way. So when that comes, we can look at your company, look at the website, and say clearly they don't have anything of value for us. Or they suck so bad because they don't tell us anything of value. We don't want to do business with them. The next time they call, I'll politely tell them, thank you, but we're not interested. That's exactly what she did. Now, the third part, and this is the worst thing that the seller did, was he got upset. The fact that he sucked at selling, the fact that he was horrible, the fact that he didn't know what he was doing, he got frustrated because he's doing the same old stupid thing every single day, dialing and dialing and dialing and bringing no value to anyone. He got upset when they told him, thank you, but we are not interested. Don't do that. I understand sometimes if a buyer is really just annoyed by me. If I've done everything possible, I've brought value, I've reached out, and they say, we're not interested, I could politely say, hey, I get this all the time. Sometimes people are not necessarily ready. Out of curiosity, is it the fact that you guys have somebody else in place already, or is it just that you're not looking to get the service right now? Donald, I'm just not looking to get the service right now. No worries. Let me stay in touch in the future, and if things change, we'd love to connect with you. Is it okay if I sent you some podcasts or some of the videos that we produce in the future? Sure. Now I leave that door open, as opposed to become like irate idiot and then lose that connection with my buyer. Why would you do that? They're not stupid. They're not just a number. It's an individual behind the phone. They can tell if you are genuine or not. They can tell if you've done some basic research or not. They can tell if you know about their business or not. They can tell if you're treating them like a number. People can feel that. So stop it, please. If you are guilty of it, don't do that. I'm a big proponent of making sure that you have your processes in place, that you're reaching out, but make sure you reach out with a little personal touch and don't sound just like a stupid recording, because you're going to get treated like a stupid recording. To fix this, take 2 to 5 minutes. Go on LinkedIn. If you're reaching out in a B2B setting, go on LinkedIn and just see what the company does. Go onto their website. Just take 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not telling you to take all day. Look at the website, see what the company does, look at the person, see their role, get their name. Now you can have an intelligent conversation, and you can and again, sometimes people will waste time all day doing all that stuff, but maybe your company already vetted them and they already got a list of right people for you guys and they put stuff in Salesforce. Just look in your Salesforce and see what the darn company does. And then look at the contact, make sure you have the right contact. That's all I'm asking for you to do. That's it. But now you can have more intelligent conversation. Here's the caveat though, because sometimes you might say, well, Donald, we just want to get the numbers. If you do that, if you just do the numbers, your results or your conversion will be very, very low. I mean, almost non-existent. Maybe you'll do more quality outreach. Perhaps you don't make like a large number of calls. However, your quality of return, maybe instead of talking to 2 people and setting 1 appointment, when you dial 100 numbers, maybe you dial 30 numbers and you get 5 appointments and you spoke to 10 individuals. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but that seems to be much better than going around ticking people off and giving my company a bad name and also getting hung up on. Don't do that. Treat people like people. Recognize that it's just not only about the numbers. Numbers are a great measuring tool, but get some basic information. You're going to have a much better conversation. As a buyer, on the other side, I'll give you an example. Someone reached out to me the other day, and it takes more work. So I'm sorry. If you're trying to grab our attention in a busy era and you're trying to do the same thing like everybody else, it's not going to work. Yes, you're going to need to do a little bit more work. But this person sent me a video. It was so much easier. I responded to the video. I compliment them on their outreach. This person came on our podcast as a great guest, and their episode is going live. It is so much more rewarding, easier for me as a buyer. I don't care if it's harder for you, but if you're trying to get access to me, it's not my job to make your life easier as the buyer. It's your job to make my life easier. Don't give me an added level of complication. Think unique. Think how you can treat people like people. Do basic research, come with some information, understand what I do. Don't yell at me, and try something unique. I hope this gave you some better insights on what you can do to change that mindset about just a number. They're not just numbers. They're not just robots. They're not just stupid. They're not just sitting in the office every single day waiting for you to call. They can see that you've called before, especially if you called multiple times and say the same thing. They will remember you. They will talk about you in the office. Please, for the love of everything that's good, do your job right. If you need help, check out prospect.io. It's a sales automation platform. You can personalize your message, and I guarantee it's going to be way better. Follow the training that they offer. They have some great tips on emails that you can send out. That's going to be personalized. In addition to that, check out mailtag.io. Maybe sometimes you're busy and you don't want to respond to your prospect right away. Delay that response. You can schedule your emails. You can also know when someone opens up an email. I encourage you to check out both of these tools. You can find links in the show notes to salesevangelist.com/the-word episode number 1017. Again, to salesevangelist.com/the word episode number 1017. I want you to be successful. I want you to find more ideal customers. I want you to build stronger value. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want to challenge you each and every day to go out and do big things. Stay tuned for a scene from our next episode.
So there's got to be a measure of humility, and there's got to be a measure of confidence, because that's what people buy, are confidence. But it's the way you position it. The mentors there, again, can help you get there. We all have room to learn. All of us. I don't care what place you're in life. I don't care how much money you have. There's always more to learn. And we need to surround ourselves with trusted advisors in community, having mentors that's been there and done that.
I hope you enjoyed the show today as much as I did. And if so, why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already? Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy fine podcasts. Our show today was produced by myself and the Sales Podcast Network. It was edited and mixed together by the one and only Mr. Jershon O'Bale. Our content writer and show note creator is Mrs. Shannon Rasmussen. You can find audio credits to this and all of our episodes in the show notes. And as always, I am your host, your coach, your mentor, your guide down the sales journey, Mr. Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. Sales Podcast Network.